So I would like to welcome everybody to our webinar tonight, Mindfulness for Stress and Anxiety. We hope that you've benefited from a lot of the information that we've shared from our incredible professional advisory board with medical information for people with Marfan, VEDS, Loeys, Dietz that's related to COVID-19. There are statements that they have worked on with us, and they've done incredible webinars explaining the statement, answering your questions, and those are all on our website, so you can take a look at those. We'll show the URL for that later on. But to start us off tonight, we are going to have a brief welcome from our president and CEO, who has his raisin or his grape next to him, Michael Weimer. So, Susan, you can change the slide. And Michael? Oh, where's Michael?
Yes, that looks like Susan.
It does look like me.
Hi, everybody.
Well, this must have been the previous.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
It's, as Eileen said, I'm Mike Weimer. I'm the CEO of the foundation, and I just actually wanted to come by tonight. I'm stopping by each of our programs just to check in momentarily, and I'll be mindful of your time tonight regarding the foundation. A couple of things that are happening. Number one, we have become pretty much a totally virtual organization. So if you're new to the foundation by any chance, we are pretty much available 18 hours a day. We're here through the difficult days and then hopefully on to the better days. So don't hesitate to reach out to anybody that's part of the foundation, including me. If you're thinking about annual conference, we're still unsure at this point in time whether we will have a traditional annual conference or now. As you may know, many conferences have been canceled. Many events have been canceled well into late July, early August. We are still contemplating and waiting to see what the climate may be by the time it comes around in July. So my guess is in the next few weeks, probably right around or before May 1st, we will make a final on our annual conference. We have great information, as I'm sure others are going to point out to you on our website. We hope you go there early and often for not only medical information, but information like tonight's program and information about our various events and camps and symposiums. It's all pretty much up to date on a day-to-day basis. And I should also mention just today, and you're actually the first group to hear this. We were just again selected as one of the top 50 organizations, one of the best places to work in America, in the United States. So we're very proud of that. It's our third year. I think we came in at number 30 this go around, and the value of that really is quite simple. It's our ability to even more effectively serve our community or communities. I mean, that's why we're here. That's what we care about. We're vigilant about our services to you and protecting and informing our community. So it was great news today among, we're all hearing, I'm sure, challenging news each and every day. You've got great people tonight. Susan is a gem when it comes to not only conference, but it comes to social work activities in our camping program. She's our elite camper. Go to any camp at all, you'll find Susan. And Jan Lynch, we have extraordinary respect for. She's the director of our Help and Resource Center. And Eileen, who is our sort of host this evening and will handle some of the mechanics. So that's really all I have to say. I hope everyone hangs in there. I hope everybody takes care of their family. You can reach out to me anytime, any place. I have a new Facebook page, which we're building. It's under Michael L. Weimer, W-E-A-M-E-R. So if you haven't joined, please do. And with that, I will turn you over to our elite camper, Susan Leshen.
Thank you. So my intention tonight, first of all, to welcome all of you, and I'm so happy to see so many people and people who are willing to explore the benefits of mindfulness. I want to help you understand what the process is, and then I'm gonna lead you on one short and one slightly longer mindfulness meditation. We want to also identify some of our stresses and anxieties. We have emotional stresses, which are worrying, feeling down, depressed, irritable. You know, we snap at people, we don't know why. Sometimes it feels like we can't make a decision. We can't remember something. We go into a room and we're like, oh, what did I mean to do here? Concentration is off. Sometimes we have compulsive or obsessive behaviors. We think that we didn't turn a light off, so we'll go back to a room, or we check a door to make sure that it's locked. I mean, this is all very normal to have at this time when we're so deeply stressed. There are also some physical effects to be aware of. Some people have more problems eating or overeat, so they may have a gain or loss. People with high blood pressure need to be careful. You might find out that you're actually urinating more often, that, you know, because your body is using up the water faster. So it's really important to drink a lot. Headaches, teeth grinding, or other gentle, you know, you may wake up in the morning and your jaw feels very tight. Some people experience dizziness, chest pains, which can be very confusing, but a lot of times it's just coming from the muscles in your chest contracting. You may find that you have a rapid pulse. You may feel panicky or more tired than you usually do. There's also something called productive and anxiety and free-floating anxiety. And it's good to know the difference. Productive anxiety can be very helpful. It's when we need to prepare us. It helps to prepare us for situations. It helps to keep us safe. The main aspect is that we are in control and can make decisions which are helpful to us. And that's why it's productive. We can do something about it. Free-floating anxiety is a lot harder. Sometimes we have feelings of dread, of distress. All of a sudden we feel agitated or nervous for no reason. We can expect the worst. And when we expect the worst, that becomes a cycle. We start expecting the worst and living in that, like that it's actually going to happen to us. Sorry, I was a little behind there. What is mindfulness? So mindfulness is a basic human ability to be fully present, to be totally aware of our bodies, our thoughts, and our feelings. Mindfulness is known for deflecting negative energies, for purifying the surrounding space, and attracting loving energies to us. When we are truly mindful, we're not focused on any past events or future concerns, and we do not judge the experiences we are having. The three main tenets, which are on the screen, of mindfulness is attention, intention, and attitude. Attention means that you're giving all of your attention to the present moment. You're not worried about tomorrow or later or things you have to do or feelings that you might have. You're right here paying attention to the present moment. Like right now, you're listening to my voice and you're looking at a screen. That's attention. Intention is what you want to accomplish with your mindfulness exercise. What do you hope to feel afterwards? It's really a good idea before you start any mindfulness exercise to set an intention, to say, this is what I would like to feel when I'm done. I want to feel more relaxed. I want to feel more at peace. I want my breathing to be easier. I want to worry less. Set an intention before the mindfulness. And the third is attitude. A positive attitude to helping yourself feel better and more relaxed is very important. Not allowing yourself to become upset, even if this is difficult for you to do at first. Mindfulness is a practice because it takes time to learn how to do it. So the first time you do it, maybe tonight may be the first time you're doing it, doesn't mean if it's not the success you thought it would be, that you're not going to be able to do this again. Absolutely not. It just means that it's the first time you're doing it. And like with anything, the first time is often not the best. So there are different approaches to mindfulness. Mindful meditation can be done anywhere. Some people prefer to sit in a quiet place, close their eyes, focus on their breathing, while others are more comfortable keeping their eyes open and focusing on a point of light or a point on the floor or a picture. You can choose to be mindful at any point of the day. There is no correct or wrong place or time. You can be mindful when you're commuting to work. Hopefully, do not close your eyes when you're driving, but you can be mindful at red lights. And you can be mindful when you're doing chores. During and after the practice, it is important that you accept yourself the way you are. The same way that we accept a good friend. We know that our friend has faults. We know that our friend has good spots and bad spots. And we should accept ourselves in the same way that we would accept them. Sometimes you can be mindful when going for a walk. You could focus on your surroundings. You can look at the flowers coming up now, and you can count your steps or just focus on the feel of your feet hitting the concrete. You can be mindful if you're doing a craft project or cooking, walking your dog. There are many, many ways that you can bring mindfulness into your life. When we are practicing mindfulness, sometimes a thought or an emotion will enter our mind. And this is really, really normal. What we do then is we kind of observe it for a second. We say, oh, okay, hi, thought. And then we just let it pass, and we don't judge the thought. We don't judge ourselves for having one. And then we just return back to focus. Sometimes we'll have a feeling too, and we do the same thing. We just accept the feeling we're having. We accept any bodily sensations that we're having, and we just say that they're okay and they're there, and now I'm going to go back to focus. So I'd like to begin with our mindfulness raisin. So if you have a raisin, that's great. If you don't have a raisin and you have another object, that's good too, because you can kind of listen in the same way. So what I'd like you to do is take your raisin, I'll keep calling it a raisin. If you have something else, that's fine. And put it in the center of your palm. And then look at it. And just stare at it for a minute, for a few seconds really. And look at the different textures that the raisin has. Look at the way the light is hitting different parts of the raisin. Look at the bumps in the indentures. Look at the shape, how odd the shape may be. If you're using something else, you can see the way the light is also reflecting off of it. What is this thing? We don't know. We're just going to pretend for a second that we don't actually know what this thing in our hand is. We're studying it. What is it? Look at it for a second. Imagine it came from someplace else. And now what you're going to do is take the finger of your other hand, one finger from your other hand, and just kind of touch it. Touch it a little bit. How does it feel? Does it feel rough? Is it smooth? Is it bumpy? Does it feel squishy? You can press on it a little bit. Or is it hard? Just concentrate and feel the texture. Feel the object that is sitting in your hand. Don't think about anything else. Just about this one thing that's in your hand that you're touching right now. Think about how this thing in your hand is making you feel. And now we're going to take this thing in our hands and we're going to put it in our mouth. We're going to gently place it on our tongue. And we're going to see, how does it feel on our tongue? Is it sweet? Do we feel anything? Do we feel the ridges on it when it's on our tongue? Does it feel heavy or light? What is the sensations we're getting now? Feel those sensations and think about them. Let your body just feel what this object is like sitting on your tongue. And now what you can do is kind of move the object so your teeth can touch it. Move it around in your mouth. Feel what it feels like. You feel more sweetness now coming out of it. Or maybe there is no taste. Maybe it's dry. Maybe it's sour. Feel whatever it is. Don't think about it too much, but just feel it. Let your body feel this object in your mouth. Bite into it a little bit. See what happens when you bite into it. Does it make a sound? Is it very, very quiet? Does it change the taste when you bite into it? Just pay attention to all those feelings. Don't pay attention to anything else. Just the thing that this object in your mouth is making you feel. After if you've chewed it a little while, you can swallow it. And you could say how comfortable that object made you feel. Or maybe it made you feel uncomfortable. Either way is okay. But just think about that object that was once in your mouth and once in your hand, and the experience that you and the object had together. And that experience is a moment of mindfulness. You and that object were present together at the same moment in the same time. So the next concept I want to talk about is the nautilus shell. The nautilus shell can be used to assist in meditation because it invokes calmness, it provides strength, balance, and renews physical energy. The spiral of the shell, very interestingly, conforms to the shape of what we call the golden ratio spiral. The golden ratio is a sacred geometric shape, or it's also known as the Fibonacci series. Sorry if I mispronounced that. This same shape and pattern can be found in all of our galaxy, in hurricanes, in arrangements of sunflower seed. Most of nature follows this pattern. So this is a very important shape and for us. And when we become stressed, it's also a great picture. I actually have picture of it hanging by my desk. Not that I get stressed at work, of course. But, if I did, I would look at the nautilus pattern and follow it from the beginning from the middle to out. And that's also a way to do mindfulness. So I'm going to leave this picture up on the screen while we begin our mindfulness exercise, because some people feel much more comfortable not having their eyes closed and would rather have something to look at. And if that works for you, then please use the nautilus shell for that. If not, then I'm going to ask you to please sit down in a chair. Hopefully you're sitting in a very comfortable chair, that you should snuggle down, get as comfortable as you can. Place your feet on the floor, or if you're sitting on a bed or a couch, you can leave them up if that's more comfortable. Place your hands in your lap or to your side. And now is the time to think of an intention. What do you hope to gain from your mindfulness experience? What do you hope you will feel after this experience? You can think about that for a second or two. Think about what you want for yourself. And when you have your intention, we're going to start with a few deep breaths. The deep breaths will help us clear some of the stale air out of our lungs. There are many, many ways to do deep breathing, but this is my favorite method. And the way that I like to do it is that I breathe in on a count of 3, hold, and then out on a count of 3. So let's do that for a few minutes together. We're going to breathe in, 1, 2, 3, hold, out, 2, in, 2, 3, hold, out, 2, 3, hold. Once again, in, 2, 3, out. 2, 3, hold. And these breaths should be deep enough that you can feel your chest and your diaphragm rising and falling with each breath. Now on our next breath, we're going to add a sigh when we do our outlet breath. So it kind of sounds like in, 2, 3, hold, out. Ah. Okay, so everybody try that. I can't hear if you're doing it, so I'm going to assume that everybody's doing that. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3, hold. Ah. And as you breathe out with that sigh, feel your shoulders and lower. Feel your body getting more. Do this for a few more times, very slowly, and then sigh. Now we're going to continue our normal breathing, not as deep as before, but just a nice, comfortable breathing. And we're going to focus on that breathing. Focus on the breaths going in and on the breaths going out. Feel your body. Feel the way your chest rises when you take air in and how it falls when you take air, when air goes out. Focus on your body sitting. Feel the chair or couch beneath you. Feel the sensation of the fabric. Feel the softness. Feel your body resting quietly and peacefully in this place and in this time. Feel your hands and your feet. How do they feel? Feel them touching the floor, touching the couch, resting in your lap. Just let yourself feel them. Know that they are there and you are here in this place and this time. And if you are feeling any pain any place, you can focus on that for a moment and then move your focus away and continue focusing on your breathing. If you're using the shell, you can focus on your breathing and also focus on the shapes and curves of the shell. Remember, if you have a thought or a feeling that comes up into your mind, just acknowledge it and then return to focus. Do not dwell on it. It's not important now. Feel your breath coming in and your breath going out. Feel yourself centered right now in this time, in this place. Feel your chest rise. Feel your chest fall. Breathe in, breathe out, and feel yourself centered and here, right now, in this time, in this place. Just relax. Now what we're going to do is we're going to slowly come back to awareness. We're going to take a deep breath in, as we did before. 1, 2, 3. Hold. And then a deep, let it out. 1, 2, 3. And if you wish, you can sigh on your exhalations, or just let it slowly go out. And then take another deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Relax. One more breath. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Relax. When you're ready, if your eyes were closed, you can begin to think about opening them. You're going to continue to feel the way you did during the meditation, during the mindfulness practice, that you are here in this time, in this place. Okay. I see we didn't lose anybody, so that's good. Nobody turned off. I hope everybody is feeling a little more relaxed. Hope you enjoyed your snack. Well, you get to eat today. No. So there are a few things I kind of wanted you to think about. We're going to do a Q&A in a few minutes. Excuse me. But I wanted you to think about how you felt before, during, and now after the exercise. Were there any differences in those feelings? Do you feel different now? And if you don't, that's okay, because remember, this may be your first time doing this. And it often can take several times before we really are able to establish ourselves in one place and one time. But remember the feelings that you had if they were good. And when you start to feel nervous or stressed during the day, you can do some of the breathing. And what will happen after a while when you practice each day is that when you start to breathe in that rhythmic way, those same feelings of relaxation will come to you because our body has memory. And the memory in our bodies will bring back those feelings. Mindfulness is definitely called a practice. And the reason we say is because to reap all the benefits of mindfulness, we do need to practice. It's not something we can do when we're at our most stressed, unless we have already established a practice that our body memory can recall for us. So I would love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear how people felt. I'd love to hear any questions that you might have. Eileen, I don't know if there's anything in the chat. If people are still so relaxed.
Actually, what I was going to say, that was really great. I mean, I totally feel relaxed. But I was going to say, we don't have a whole lot of people on the phone, so if you have a question or a comment, you raise your hand, and we will. There's a raise hand button somewhere there, and then we will unmute you, and then we can have a chat. Oops, you should put that back
Oh,
on.
you want me to put that back on? I'm sorry.
Yes, please. Yeah, leave that on. The next slide says Q&A, so you can leave the next
Oh,
slide.
okay.
Yeah, we have a couple more slides to go after this. So the next slide for the Q&A, and then we have a couple of announcements afterwards, some things I want to show. So next slide.
Yeah, my computer's being stubborn. It's very slow today.
So if anybody else have anything they want to say about this or how it made them feel, or else we can just move on and tell you about some other things. Here's somebody in the chat. Lisa was very relaxed. Great. That's good. I'm not sure this is the type of thing that, Susan?
I know, I may have to stop the share and restart it, sorry. It froze.
So
Sorry, guys.
what I think I'm going to do right now,
Okay.
all right. Why don't you, here's one question. How to shut out the sound of my own heartbeat. Mechanical valves can get loud during stress. Any advice for that?
Actually, that's an excellent question. Yeah, I would actually use the sound of your mechanical, it's the mechanical sound as part of your mindfulness. I wouldn't fight it at all. I would actually have it be part of it. You can almost time your breathing to it in a way, or just use it as a background noise. But don't try to get away from it, because the more you push it away, the more it'll come towards you. So just accept it, make it part of your mindfulness, and it'll quietly go away.
Great, that's really great. Linda's got a question. How often should you do this mindfulness exercise?
Yeah, at least once a day if you can. You can do it as often as you like, of course, but we definitely advise at least once a day. The same as if we were practicing an instrument, say, or a language. The more you do it, the better you get at it. But it's good because we want to have our body memory come into play. At least once a day is good.
And then when you really need it, then you've practiced it so much that you're
Exactly.
like, okay, I can release my stress now because I know how to do this, because I've done this before.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
And how did the second exercise differ from meditation? Carol wants to know.
In meditation, you usually focus on a word or thought. In mindfulness, you just focus on your awareness of being present. Meditation is also, it's a great thing to learn to do. The difference, though, like I said, is sometimes in a meditation, they will give you a chant or a humming sound or something to focus on. And mindfulness is really powerful because your mind is quiet. It's just focusing on you in the present, and that's the goal, is to quiet your mind.
Okay, let me see if I have other hands raised or any other questions. Jan, I'm gonna. You're unmuted. You're unmuted. You're unmuted, I believe. Trying to unmute you. You're now a panelist, Jan. So you're able to speak. I do have a slide for you to talk. I don't know if you have anything to add right now to any of these questions, or do you want to wait until we talk about the Help and Resource Center? Okay. All right. Well, I guess she's not ready yet. So are there any other questions from anybody? We can, Susan's always happy to answer questions about this and talk to you more individually. And her information will be up on the slide soon in case any of you are not familiar with it, although I know a lot of you know us and know Susan personally. So if you want to go to the next slide, we can just go and talk about some of the other things that we want to wrap up with, a couple other offerings. And you have the next slide there, Susan?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
My computer keeps freezing.
No, I couldn't hear you, Jan.
I have to go out and in.
I'll try that again, Jan. So as I mentioned, Jan Lynch is on the phone and I know is logged in, and I have her unmuted. I think maybe she's got a audio issue there, but she's available for medical questions, and the best way to get those to her is through marfan.org/ask. It is on our website, and that's really the fastest, most efficient way to get to her. Hopefully she'll be able to say hello before we finish up here. Up-to-date medical information is always at marfan.org. And Susan, as I said, she's a licensed social worker. You guys got a taste of that tonight, what she can do. This is really where, Susan does a lot for the organization, but like I always think that she shines so much when she does this, and she gets it, and she has the experience, and I know she's always willing to help people one-on-one. And then there are resources for mindfulness. I don't know, Susan, you want to say something about these apps?
Yeah, these are just 2 apps. One is called Headspace. It's an app that you can get either one of these on your phones, and they will lead you through different mindfulness exercises, anywhere from a minute to 20 minutes long. They actually have sometimes they have about 10 free exercises, and then they usually ask you to pay something. But during this crisis, they have opened up their paid sessions for free. So it's a good time to join. Calm is I keep seeing Calm advertised all the time lately. Calm is also a good way to do a little bit of mindfulness. It kind of shows a rainforest and some music and some noise, and you just kind of breathe quietly with it. Also, if you wanted to get more information about mindfulness, you can go to mindfulness.org. And you'll find you also will find people in your area who have mindfulness sessions. I know now in this time, many of them are putting their sessions online, as where you can see them easily.
And the next slide, we are really committed to not only helping you with with the type of quality of life kind of resources like we did tonight. Of course, we have the medical information for you and information from the foundation. If you weren't on our webinar on Tuesday night, we had Hal Dietz and Enid Neptune, 2 of our doctors from Johns Hopkins, who answered questions. Dr. Neptune is a pulmonologist. And of course, COVID is very serious, mostly the most serious things are the respiratory issues. And she was just incredible talking about how it relates to Marfan and who's at risk, and with VEDS and Lois Dietz. And that was really incredible. And obviously, Dr. Dietz, geneticist, cardiologist, the information they gave was really, really incredible. So I would really encourage you to check that out. We have one place on our website where you can find all of this. It's at marfan.org/COVID-19, and we are continually updating, adding. We have statements in Spanish also. In case there's, Betsy, who is on the line, helped us with that. Could not have done that without her. So that was really, really great. Tracy's asking if we are going to share the presentation. We can certainly send you guys a link. Susan and I will go over it, and we usually do send out a link afterwards to the people who were on the call. So if you'd like, we can certainly do that for you. I think that might be the last one. You want to advance that, Susan?
I don't know why this keeps reading.
So
Sorry,
I believe that's the last slide. So
yeah.
I just want to say, I have one more thing that I wanted to mention to you. I'm going to put the link in the chat box here for you, marfan.org/virtual-walk. So I know you've all heard about our walks for victory that we've had in person around the country, and it's a great way to connect. In times like this, you always hear on TV, it's not really social distancing, it's physical distancing. And socially, we still need to be connected. And so we have a global virtual walk. It's a walk that's not a walk. That's my new tagline for this event. And it's going to be May 2nd, and it's an online event. And it's just like we're going to have a DJ party with this amazing DJ Willie. DJ Willie, I forget the whole thing. It's DJ Willie, and he was the White House DJ for 8 years, And so he DJ'd all the kids' parties at the White House for 8 years. And so he's a great guy. I was on a call with him, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do it at 2 different times during the day on Saturday, May 2nd. We haven't actually announced that whole thing yet, but it's 2 different times so that people in different time zones or different countries can participate. And I promise you it's going to be fun. So whether you've been to one of our walks in person or not, definitely check out marfan.org/virtual-walk. And if you would like to even get more involved, you can contact Kim Huddleston. So I'll put her email in here too, kimhuddleston@marfan.org. Her email is on that virtual walk page too. So anyway, don't forget to feed your emotional soul. I think that's what this is all about here tonight with the mindfulness and getting connected to everybody. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Susan, do you have any final words?
No, I hope this was helpful to everybody, and I hope you will continue to try and use this. And thank you so much for joining us.
And next time, I promise you, Jan will be on as well. So we will figure out that audio. So thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.